I, you know, I sort of wanted to give it a chance, like continue getting to know him, but we head to the neighboring island called Teshima. The two kind of standout installations for me were the Teshima Art Museum, which was designed by the architect, oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher these names, Ryui Nishizawa, and the artist Rei Naito. Gosh, please don't burn me at the stake for that. It's like this giant concrete shell that's kind of shaped like a water droplet. It's got like two large oval openings in the roof, and that lets in like light, air, wind, and rain. And so it had rained that morning. And so the floor was in like a very slight slope, and it was so beautiful to see like the rain droplets kind of trickling down into these tiny little holes across the floor of this gigantic structure. And silence was key, like you weren't allowed to make a sound at all. So you could literally hear a pin drop in there. It felt super relaxing. And even though there were so many people in there, everyone was respectful. We couldn't take pictures, but of course the guy that I was with, was taking secret pictures. The second art installation that I adored was called Les Archives du Cœur, or the Heartbeat Archive. It was created by the French artist Christian Boltanski. And the idea is that you can go there and you can actually have your heartbeat recorded. They had like 3 desktop computers where people that had previously recorded their heartbeats around the world. So it was like a database where you could find people by name and by year. And the main installation, it's like this very long, dark room, super narrow, with like a light bulb flashing in the middle, and it would be flashing at the same rate as the heartbeat that it was playing at that moment. You can also pay to have your heartbeat recorded. It was kind of eerie, I would say, because some of these people might no longer be with us, but their heartbeat kind of lives on in this art installation. We're still in the Kagawa prefecture, and we head to this beautiful traditional town called Kotohira, where there's like a stunning temple. We decide to go for a hotel room that actually has a tiny little onsen/jacuzzi on the balcony of the room with a beautiful view of the surrounding mountains. We relax there that night. He spends most of the night out on the balcony. I take like a boiling hot shower and relax on one of the 2 sofa beds. The next morning, he decides to go to the hotel's common onsen. I decide to go have breakfast. We head on over to Awaji Island, where we stay once again in a beautiful hotel with water view. There's an onsen in the hotel. There's like a buffet dinner as well. After checking out of that hotel, we head on over to an anime park where different attractions are attributed to different anime. And the one that he wanted to go to was a Godzilla zip line, where you can zip line twice. You can zip line once on the outside of this gigantic life-size Godzilla, or into the mouth. And so I was like, game, I'm like, let's do this. I think part of getting to know someone in the sort of early dating stages, but also like in a long-term relationship, is like doing things that your partner enjoys and like having those shared experiences. You really get to know someone, right? We head on over back to Osaka. We drop off our car rental. We take this Shinkansen, which is Japan's famous bullet train, which travels at like 240 to 320 kilometers per hour. Actually, on my way to the toilet on the train, I look out the window and there's like Mount Fuji staring back at me in all of its majesty. So I get a beautiful video of Fujisan, as they call it. I had booked myself into a hotel in Tokyo, and this guy also was gonna go to Tokyo to see some of his friends. I was gonna go to Tokyo to see some of my high school friends from Geneva, Switzerland, who were now based in Tokyo. And he was like, "Oh, do you mind if we split the room?" Because I had gotten a double room anyway. So I was like, "Sure." And yeah, the first time we were physically intimate in those 8 days was the next morning in Tokyo. It was like initiated by me, but yeah, I sort of also want the other person to initiate, but clearly there was zero sexual chemistry between us. I see my friends. We have a lovely weekend catch up. I had not seen them in like years, you know? It was so nice to sort of see them, see what they were up to job wise, relationship wise, personal life wise. They brought me to one of the most famous department stores in Tokyo. They showed me the food hall, which was amazing. You get to see all of the Japanese delicacies, both savory and sweet. They showed me some cool things that you can get, like personalized chopsticks with like engravings on them. And they were like, oh, it's a great gift to get your friends if ever. And then we have a gorgeous dinner at this authentic Japanese restaurant. And that was a lovely end to my trip. So, I head on back to Paris, and the guy heads on back to the country where he lives in Asia. And I, you know, I sort of wanted to give it a chance, like continue getting to know him, but clearly he was not interested. I sent him a message. It was November time in Paris, and so there were like Christmas decorations everywhere. I remember sending some of the lights that had been put up via WhatsApp to this guy, and like he blanks me completely. And then, like 7 or 8 days later, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send a follow up message. I don't want to be desperate, but I just want to get a sense of like, is he interested? So I'm walking in front of Samaritan's department store by the Seine, and they had like a beautiful multicolor display. I sent him that. Once again, I get completely blanked and ghosted. So I was like, okay, this is the end. Part of me was like, am I really stupid? Like, why the hell am I trying to pursue this guy if there was like zero sexual chemistry, if like during the trip he wasn't really interested in getting to know me? During the trip, like there were lots of times where we could have spent time together, but I actually chose to spend time apart. So like the times when he would want to go to the onsen, I would be like, no, I want to like spend some time alone, having breakfast or staying in the room. So that's sort of a sign as well, but maybe I was a bit naive about it. They always say like writing things down on paper helps process things. I was like, okay, let me write down all of the sort of cons slash negatives about the time I spent with this guy. So I'm going to read them out. I have a bullet point list here. At the top of the list, there's like a minus symbol because obviously cons only, to make myself feel better about being ghosted. No coffee or tea breaks on the road journey. Indeed, it was like super rushed. And like as a child, like I hated being rushed, like being woken up in the morning to like go to school. Hated. Like holidays where you're rushing from point A to B. Hate. There was like a lot of rubbish in the car, like that was created by this guy. Like I'm definitely like every stop you make on the highway, empty out the rubbish. But I was the one doing all of the heavy lifting there. He is a fast walker and a fast cycler. Like he wouldn't wait up for me. Like we were on the islands, Tashima and Naoshima, and like, he literally left me in the dust. Like, thank goodness I had working 5G coverage so that I could use the GPS, but he literally left me in the dust. I remember we had McDonald's one night, and what I normally do is like I order a meal. I order a hamburger, fries, and a drink. But I don't always have the drink because, they say it's not good to drink like during your meal, it doesn't help digestion. And he literally tells me like, so I bring the drink into the car back to the hotel with us. It's like a large Coke. And he's like, Kevin, I don't understand why you buy McDonald's meal with a drink if you don't drink it immediately. So, yeah, it's just that sort of lack of understanding, empathy, openness, etc. Like, what do you care if I like order a drink and then have it later? Like, calm your titties, please. He snores like a train. I mean, that's not a deal breaker. Like, just get yourself some earplugs or get yourself some mouth tape. Not a big deal. Yeah, he didn't want to do activities that were suggested by me. Yeah, yeah, that's a huge no no. He definitely needed to be in control. I was sort of sad throughout this whole trip because, like, whenever I would suggest things to do, like, I remember on the way to the Godzilla park, I was like, oh, we could like check out these like cool Japanese gardens, with like fish and ponds and beautiful flora. But it really didn't tickle his fancy, so we skipped that. But it's sort of like, is it an orange flag? Is it a red flag for me when, the person opposite you really doesn't want to get to know you and the things you like? He's a live day by day kind of guy, doesn't plan in advance, in terms of accommodation, etc. That was a bit difficult for me to be that open minded, but like, I gave it a go, but not for me. He's a bad driver. I have to say that, like, I'm very proud to be from a family. Like, we have good drivers. And he's like one of those, like, stop and start jerky drivers. No, cannot have that in a partner. He was really impatient and rude with service staff. Yeah, not cool. Like, I know, like, you're angry at bad service, but, like, keep it respectful. You know what I mean? little to no effort with physical intimacy. So yeah, no sexual chemistry there. Oh, so on the next page, I actually have a list of pluses slash pros. So shall we discover them together? I had completely forgotten about them. So bullet point one, he was calm and patient when I raised my voice. Yes, we love that. Green flag. He took some distance physically when I was reactive. Yes, we like that. Let Kevin process his emotions that he can't understand and let Kevin come back when he's ready. Quality time, like he liked to spend quality time together, but it was always like doing, his kind of pastimes, his kind of preferred activities, not mine. He shares knowledge. Like he was so helpful to me, like when we were in Tokyo, even though he was like meeting up with his friends, like he was so helpful to me to help me plan my day and like help me get around, etc. And yeah, he really stepped up in terms of like planning the whole trip, accommodation, you know travel, whether it be the train or the car rental. So a lot of points there. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And it's coming up to my birthday again. So am I going to be depressed or am I going to be happy? I think I'm going to be grateful that I have one more year on this planet and happy to have my health, happy to have my friends and family around me. So stay safe and yeah, wishing you a lovely, lovely evening. An example where the rushing kind of got to me, but I sort of took a chill pill and I didn't say anything. So it was the day where we wanted to go do this Godzilla zip line, right? And we didn't plan our journey well. Like we had also had a bit of a longer lunch, which sort of cut into our travel time, right? And for some reason, like this guy didn't want to do Godzilla after sunset. He's like, no, we must make it for the sunset. It'll be like, more beautiful with the sun setting. I'm like, okay. And, I was the designated driver that day. And it was like, what, a 2 to 3 hour drive to the park. And I decide to like stop at, this, what do you call them? Well, in French, you call them des aires de repos, where you can like stop by the side of the highway. There are like picnic tables and toilets, etc. So like I decide to stop there. There are like the vending machines that I love where I can get those hot drinks. And we had barely stopped there for like 5 minutes, and it's like, Kevin, we have got to go. And deep down, I was like, are you kidding me? I've been driving all day. I can't have 5 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I was the bigger person, and yes, we made it to Godzilla by sunset.